Hi, I'm Anatole. This is my review of Mindhunter Season 1, Episode 1. No title, and it received a score of 7.9 on IMDb, which is kind of low, honestly. It was directed by the movie director David Finch, also a producer of the show. And for those who aren't aware, it is based on a real book called Mindhunter by the author John Douglas, who was an agent from Quantico who was involved in the early profiling and capture of serial killers. So the lead character of Holden Ford presumably is based on John Douglas. Here is the plot summary courtesy of IMDb. In 1977, frustrated FBI hostage negotiator Holden Ford finds an unlikely, there's a Freudian slip, unlikely ally in veteran agent Bill Tench, and begins studying a new class of murderer. And there's a lot of that, the trope of the old cop and the new idealistic cop, who is not jaded and comes in with the new methods and an enthusiasm, and the old cop who is jaded, who wants to do good but has been ruined by the system. There's very much that dynamic between the two characters of Holden Ford, and I'm not sure the name of the investigator who plays the older detective. I'm looking at IMDb right now to draw it up, but it might take a second for me to find it. But the moments that I really liked were the elements that I really liked of the series. For one, the quality of the writing surprised me.
What are you looking at?
I like your outfit. What is that? It's a jumpsuit? What do you call that?
This? I call it a jumpsuit.
Stylish.
What do you call that? You look like a Mormon. You look like my dad.
Is he a Mormon?
No, but he looks like one.
Because there was so many character moments, and I was expecting it to be much more involved in the procedural element of catching the killer, but there was a lot of time spent to examining this character of Holden Ford and showing how he came to the conclusion that the new killers required a new method.
It's as if we don't know anymore what moves people to kill one another.
Used to be, you find a victim with 50 stab wounds, you look for the jilted lover, the ex-business partner. Now, could be a random run-in with a disgruntled mailman.
And in order to understand why he came to that conclusion, there's also a very large sociological element to the series, showing why he felt that the world around him was changing, and so the killers were changing. So we get to see a little bit of the culture clash of the older detectives faced with the younger generation, who have ideas that come from the university instead of solely from the street, and that involve looking at the criminal from a, we're not going to say sympathetic, but a more holistic portrait, instead of just painting them as evil people doing evil actions, looking at what created these people and what led them to the actions they took. Presumably, because once you understand that, then you can begin to guess what the criminal's next move is going to be. If they are wholly other, they're just evil beings doing evil actions, then they're also a mystery, and so you can't begin to predict their next action and then try to cut them off at the pass, and you can't profile someone if all you've done is just paint them as a monster let loose among civilized humans. So there's a lot of that.
Okay, what do you like?
The guy is robbing a bank to pay for a sex change for his boyfriend. He wants a helicopter with a piano.
And then we get a little bit of a romance subplot. We get to see how this straight-laced character begins to look outside the orthodoxy that he's been trained in, the FBI orthodoxy, and so that comes in the shape of his girlfriend.
God, you were making me nervous.
You are such a goody-bitty.
What are you, some kind of honey trap? I've been warned to watch out for women like you.
Normal ones?
And I'm not sure if that's meant to represent someone that John Douglas, the historical person that Holden is based on, if there was a real person like that in his life, I want to guess no, because it just feels a little too convenient to have all of these ideas wrapped up in just one person. I'm going to guess there were a number of people that John Douglas spoke to that put him on that path, that set him questioning the orthodoxy of the FBI. But here it's more convenient just to put it into the figure of the girlfriend, and she's seen as given quite a bit of agency. So we get to see how at this time period in the 1970s there can be a woman who's able to meet him on his level, and in some ways exceed him. He even says, "You tire me out," because she is so on top of what she's saying, and so confident at what she does. So she's not going to be just the supporting girl in the background. She has an agenda of her own. She has an intelligence of her own, and she's capable of meeting the main character, the protagonist, on that level, if not exceeding it, which is good. And then we get to see where he butts heads at different institutions, at the university where he's going to look for help for retraining.
I'm an instructor in the Bureau's training and recruitment program out of Quantico, and we really need to hear from people like you.
I'm sorry, are you trying to recruit me?
They don't trust him. They think he's just part of the old guard. And then we see him butting heads against the old guard, who don't trust these new ways that he's bringing in.
Stay focused on what we do.
If I did everything by the book, it begs the question.
Holden, this place is pretty much the benchmark for excellence in law enforcement.
So on that level, it brings something to the genre that I was not expecting. And then we have the genre, the hunt for the serial killer, and we don't really see it. We see that there may be a crime that he gets involved in when he goes to the small town to talk to the police there. They're given just the barest hints of what the crime can be. So if that is the crime, my guess it's going to be a very slow burn, that crime and that criminal will unspool very slowly. Instead, that just seems to be the basis for looking at the conflict that his methods have created within the department that he goes to speak to, the officers, and that when he admits that he doesn't have all the answers, the old cop that comes to him to talk about the crime just seems incredulous. Like, why am I wasting my time with you if you have questions and no answers?
This woman was devoted to her child, tried hard, and some stranger came along and... Come on, Agent Ford, you got fancy methods.
So all those different elements, I think, were put together very well, and the acting is good, the cinematography is excellent. David Fincher always has really good cinematography. Coming from the music video background, his eye is very strong, stronger than a normal director. So you, at least in this pilot episode, it just looks great. And the atmosphere and the mood, they're all attended to, and the period detail is all there. So on all those levels, I'm very happy, and I'm looking forward to watching episode 2, and I hope that all these marks of quality also continue in the next episode. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review of Season 1, Episode 1 of Mindhunters. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts about the episode that I missed, any important details you think I should have considered. And that's all for now. So until next time, take care and be well. Goodbye.